What's poppin' T Squad? Today I'm here to make one of my favorite all-time dishes. This is a creamy mushroom chicken and wild rice soup recipe that I found off Pinterest. I found this recipe about 2 years ago on Pinterest, and it has become a staple in my home. It's so delicious. I make it all throughout the year, not just during winter time. It's that delicious, and it's so good and flavorful. I really wanted to make it today because I've been sick with a really bad cold. The recipe was posted in the beginning of this video, so make sure to screenshot it. So I'm going to show you how I achieved this dish. Now, I already have the butter in the pan. I'm going to turn that pan on medium so that butter can start to melt. And while that butter is melting, we're going to start cutting up our veggies so they can start sauteing. So we're just going to cut up this celery into small pieces. The thinner you slice celery, the quicker they'll cook down and won't be so hard. So with this dish, is so, like I said, flavorful and delicious. Me and my son love this dish. Your kids will love it, you'll love it, and especially when you're sick. Oh my God, it's so good. So now that we have the celery chopped up, we're going to add that celery into the skillet. And you can cut up more than this, but this is enough for me as far as the celery goes. I don't like raw celery at all. I only like celery when it's cooked down. So this is good enough for me. I don't need much more than that. So we're going to add that celery to this pan so that can start to cook down. We're also going to chop up some carrots for this dish. I'm so happy that you guys have been loving my Cooking with Keisha tutorials, and that a lot of you guys have been trying out my recipes. I'm so grateful and thankful that you guys have enjoyed them. I love to cook. Cooking wasn't something that I used to always love to do, but when I moved out on my own and had to start cooking for me and Kyrese, I started to enjoy cooking more because I like to try different dishes out, stuff that I haven't necessarily grown up eating, but I have a very big palate. I'm a foodie, so I really enjoy eating. And I always, like I said, like to try new stuff. And when I came across this recipe, it just looked good. So I was like, it's all the things that I like. I love mushrooms, I love rice, I love chicken, I love creamy things. So I was like, oh, I gotta try this recipe. Man, I'm so happy that I did. So happy. And it's a nice cold day here in St. Louis, so this dish really is gonna be good. And then when you realize how soups are made, you feel like, oh, I could have been making my own soup at home this whole time. Yes, you could have. And it's better than out the can. Way better. So I like to get my veggies going first because, like I said, it takes a minute for those carrots to cook down and become soft. The same thing with the celery. So I like to get that going in the pan first. So I'm going to just stir that around. That butter is finally cooking down. And I'm going to add in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil into that skillet. Just a little bit. Because we're going to use all of that butter and oil in the soup. Also, we need to cut up some onion. I remember growing up, I hated onions. Absolutely hated them. I would not eat them in anything. But now that I'm a grown up and my palate has expanded, I actually love sauteed onions. I still don't like them raw, and I still don't like big chunks. I like them to be diced up, but I actually love onions in dishes now. It just adds so much flavor into your dish. So as you can see, we got that going in the skillet. I'm going to add a little bit more onion. Then we're just going to add in the mushrooms. This is the key component to this dish. Add all of those mushrooms to that pan. And I added a whole stick of butter into the pan. And then last, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic. We're just going to stir that around and let that cook down. It looks beautiful. And while that's cooking, we're going to start making our chicken and our rice. So as you can see in my skillet, I have a little bit of olive oil, and we have the temperature on medium. We're going to let that start getting hot. We have our chicken breast. We're going to dice those down into cubes. Then we're going to add them to the skillet, and we're going to season the chicken. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of seasoning salt to that chicken and some cumin. And then we're going to let that start to cook. Veggies are still cooking. Three cups of water to the pot. I'm going to let that start boiling, and then we'll add in the rice. Alright, so everything is done. The chicken is done, the rice is done, and our veggies are done. So we're going to add all of that to this big pot. So let's put that on over here. You want all that butter and everything to go in this pot. That's what gives it flavor. That's what takes it to Flavor Town, as Guy Fieri says. I love watching Guy's Grocery Store on the Food Network. I love the Cooking Channel. Love all of those shows. Then we're going to add in their rice to the pot as well. And we're going to add in those chicken breasts that we cooked, that we diced up. Add that over in there as well. And I doubled the recipe. The recipe calls for like 1.5 cups of rice, but I made 3. So I'm going to double my chicken stock. So the recipe calls for 6 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to do 8. Because you don't want that rice to absorb all of the chicken stock. So we already added 2 cups of chicken broth to it. This makes 4. This is number 6. And we need to do 1 more. Ran out of chicken stock. Let me grab another jug. And this makes 8. Then I'm going to add in our heavy cream. The recipe calls for 1 cup of milk or heavy cream. So I'm just going to add in 1.5 cups of the heavy cream to it. And then we're going to add in our Parmesan Reggiano, which is nothing but this. This is what really makes it so delicious. I'm just going to add in 1 cup of that, like the recipe calls for. Add that in there. Then we're going to add in our seasonings. We're going to add some black pepper. Now I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm not going to measure anything. I'm going to add some black pepper. I like to add some crushed red pepper flakes. I'm going to add in a little bit more garlic because I love things to be garlicky. So I'm going to add in some more onion powder. Garlic powder. Not a lot, just enough. And I'm going to add in a little bit of onion powder. And then last but not least, we're going to add some salt. And we're just going to mix all of that up. And we're going to let all of that cook together so all of those flavor profiles can merge. And it's just creamy deliciousness all up and through there. Oh, I forgot one ingredient, my basil. The recipe calls for like thyme or something like that, but if you don't know by now, I hate thyme. I hate cilantro, so I'm just going to add in some basil leaf to mine. I'm just going to stir that all together. Quick and easy. Doesn't take a long time to make this soup, but it's so good, you guys, so good. So I'm just gonna let that cook together. I have that on a medium low heat. Just gonna let that all come together, let the flavors congeal, and then it'll be done. And bon appetito, we are all done. It is nice and hot and warm. Look at that soup. Ooh, yeah. Make sure that you taste it to ensure that it is seasoned to your liking. Now we're about to boil this. up. And bon appetito. We are all done. Doesn't this look delicious? Let me zoom this camera in so you guys can get a good look. See that steam coming up off of this? Oh my God, this is so delicious. Make sure you guys try out this recipe. This is not your ordinary out of the can Campbell soup recipe. This is so plentiful and delicious. It's rich, it's creamy, it's gonna fill you up. Like I said, this is a dish that I make throughout the year. Me and Kyrese love it. It's so freaking good, you guys. You will not be disappointed. Make sure you thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. If you want to see more Cooking with Keisha videos, make sure to thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you do so. I'm about to dig into this, honey, because I am starving. Yes, ma'am. Thank me later. Love you guys. Bye.